Important, much needed clarification coming in from BPCL as well yesterday, saying that divestment process is very much on track. They're saying that only a few formalities are what is taking time, but otherwise the process is very much in place. They've talked about the first consignment of the Mozambique LNG, which is expected in the second half of 2024. They're saying sale of Treasury stocks is likely in block or bulk deal. And that they're in talks with Bharat Oman as well, refinery, for the remaining stake buy. Also, that 2 to 9% of Treasury will be transferred to a new trust for ESOPs. So this is really sort of clearing the air on a lot of niggling issues or roadblocks when it came to BPCL disinvestment, and that's a clarification which is now coming in from BPCL. So that should give some respite to the stock, given that it was a little under pressure after all those rumors went afloat that BPCL disinvestment could be pushed back all the way to the next fiscal. And they're also saying that the decision on the Treasury stock is going to be taken as soon as 15th October. Some respite then, Nikunj, for the disinvestment process, and in particular for BPCL.
No, Aisha, it's too early to celebrate or assume that BPCL would be divested, because that's a comment coming from the management. It's a comment which is not coming from the government or perhaps from the disinvestment department. I mean, the management, frankly, is communicating something which is not really their goalpost. The divestment, BPCL is owned by Government of India, and it's ultimately the government which will take a decide. This is not a decision where we are looking at selling an asset within a company where the management of a company can actually decide. So I think for somebody to imagine that BPCL is going to be sold before end of fiscal, look, the timeline looks highly unreliable, right? There is no process. We've not heard anything on the bidders. We've not heard anything on what happened to road shows, which happened, let's say, 2-3 months ago. Also, this is a time when on a daily basis, the valuation of some of the oil and marketing companies and oil refining companies is only coming down. The world is shifting towards EV, and the world is moving away from anything which has got to do with, let's say, fuel retailing or fuel refining or anything to do with crude. So I think the buyer also here would be cognizant of the shape of the world which is happening. So I think it's too early, and I will not jump with an assumption based on a comment which came from the management of BPCL. The divestment of BPCL will happen in this financial year. Looking at the communication, whatever information is available in the public domain, and if you look at how the government process moves, it looks not impossible, but it looks very, if I may say again, once again, very difficult.
Okay. Well, we did speak with the management of BPCL last evening on the roadmap for the Treasury share sale. Let's listen in to some of that conversation, and we'll be right back.
A portion of the Treasury stock of 9.33% we hold will be transferred to a new trust for the benefit of the employees, which is 2.33%, subject to an approval today in the AGM. Results are awaited. By the evening, the results will be known. Okay. So 2.33% out of 9.3, 2% out of 9.33 will get transferred to an ESPS trust, okay, which has been formed for the benefit of the employees. They will get the shares at a discount, and the loss will be borne by the company. And for the remaining 7.33%, we are yet to take a decision. The decision will be part of the RFP. And if the RFP is going to come out by 15th of October, the decision will be known. If the government's intention to close the expressions of interest on 30th September is holding, we can expect a decision on the Treasury shares by that time, by 15th October or so. If it is delayed, I do not know whether it is going to be delayed, but if it is delayed, it will be forming part of the RFP.
Sure. Okay, great. So just one more question I have, follow-up. Have all the queries of the probable guys actually been solved, the probable potential suitors? They must have raised a lot of queries from the operational management, which is you, while doing their due diligence. Have you provided all the queries?
Yeah, all the questions of the potential bidders have been answered. Since the DIPAM process is slightly tedious, it required some of the questions, and some of the questions were to be issued in the form of a corrigendum, which required approvals at the very highest levels of the central government. That was why it took some time. But as of now, all the queries of all the potential bidders have been answered, and it has been published in the website.